Alright guys, what's going on? Welcome in. So Mel Kiper just dropped the second mock draft of the offseason. Let's take a look at this mock and break it down. So first up, he has the Chicago Bears going with none other than Caleb Williams, right? This is pretty much the consensus in every single mock. All signs are pointing in this direction. I mean, it does, at the end of the day, make sense for the Bears. I feel like, really, the Bears are just in a win-win. They can flip fields, get another pick. They already, they're picking at spot number 9 as well. So I think no matter what the Bears do, they're going to be fine. Okay, next up, he has the Washington Commanders going with Jaden Daniels, quarterback from LSU. Makes a lot of sense, right? Much like the Bears, I feel like the Commanders are in a win-win. Whether they go with Drake May or Jaden Daniels here, I think they're going to be getting a massive upgrade at the quarterback position. They're going to be coming in with a brand new regime. From top to bottom, new owner, new general manager, new head coach, new offensive coordinator. Everything is brand new. Cliff Kingsbury, right, track record of developing quarterbacks. He's going to have two young, explosive playmakers around him in Jahan Dotson and Terry McLaurin. I think this makes a lot of sense, right? Daniels not only just has a super quick release, coming off, a Heisman Trophy winning season. The numbers are insane, the college resume is insane, but he also provides a ton of quickness, a ton of speed, a ton of mobility at the quarterback position. So, Washington, they're in a fantastic position. Okay, at 3, he has the Patriots going with Drake May, quarterback from North Carolina. This makes sense as well, right? I think there's really two ways to look at this pick, specifically when talking about a quarterback, right? If you're the Patriots, you can make the argument, hey, we don't have a franchise quarterback. We need one. We're just starting the post-Belichick era. We just brought in a brand new offensive coordinator in Alex Van Pelt. We're going to need somebody who we can build around. We don't really pick up at the top of the draft that often. Who knows when we're going to be back here again? Let's go out and get a franchise guy. Or if you flip it and look at it from a different angle, you can say, all right, well, we're starting over with, a young rookie defensive-minded head coach in Gerard Mayo. We don't really have a lot of help at wide receiver. We don't really have a lot of help at tackle. We're going to be losing a couple key guys on the offensive line. Do we really want to draft a rookie quarterback this high up at the top of the draft and throw him into a position where they're not going to have much help around him with a defensive-minded rookie head coach in a division, by the way, with great defenses? From that angle, you can say, all right, well, hold on a second. Maybe we can look to trade down or go with like the BPA approach or something like that. But either way, New England will be getting better no matter what direction they choose. Next up, Arizona Cardinals, Marvin Harrison Jr. No surprise here. This is pretty much the consensus in every single mock. It just makes sense, right? Just common sense here. The Cardinals need a wide receiver. Harrison's the best in the draft. They could potentially be losing Hollywood Brown, and you got to give Kyler a playmaker on the perimeter. Okay, wow, next up is the LA Chargers here, and this is a bit of a shocker. He has them going with tackle from Alabama, J.C. Latham. Now, in his description here, he actually does say that J.C. is his 22nd best player on his big board, but because he's such a good run blocker, and of course matched with the size and resume back at Alabama, he could see him fitting with this Jim Harbaugh offense, pairing him up next to Rashawn Slater, right, on the opposite side of the offensive line. Now, there's been, I want to say really over the past like 3-4 days, a push that the Chargers could go tackle here, or I guess right tackle, to go, again, to pair up with Slater. But man, this is, I would have to say, the highest that I've seen J.C. Latham go in any sort of mock draft in the process, really. Like, this is how high he's been. So it would be crazy if it pans out this way, but who knows, right? The combine's this week. One thing we know about JC, of course, again, good college resume, great size, projects well, dominant run blocker, a freaking mauler. He does kind of have that old school, like blue collar approach, which I really, really like, and that could appeal to Jim Harbaugh here. And you can never have enough offensive linemen, too, at the end of the day. So, yeah, Latham going to the Chargers. Okay, at 6, he has the Giants going with Washington wide receiver Rome Odunze. You can make the argument Odunze or Malik Neighbors would step into the Giants' locker room today and be the team's best wide receiver on the roster. So it's hard to argue with a pick like that, right? You're going to be giving Daniel Jones some help on the outside. You're going to be giving him a consistent threat with Odunze here. I mean, the guy was just a production. He was just a machine last year. I think he had just under 1,700 receiving yards. He's consistent every single week. He was just putting up great numbers week in, week out, week in, week out. It was crazy. red zone threat, brings size. I do like the pick, although I do like Neighbors a little bit better as like a NFL draft prospect. Okay, next up, the Tennessee Titans. He has him going with Joe Alt, tackle from Notre Dame. To me, this makes a lot of sense, right? If you can draft somebody in Joe Alt, a high ceiling, high floor type of player that's going to be an upgrade at both run blocking and pass protection, and you're pairing him up right next to Peter Skoronski, who they took in last year's class up at the top of the draft. I mean, you're looking at one of, like, you can make an argument that would be the best young left side of the offensive line in the entire National Football League. That is super enticing when you're talking about trying to keep Will Levis upright. I know that they need help at wide receiver, and we could see the Titans potentially make a move at wide receiver if Neighbors is on the board here. If we think back, Callahan, right? Part of the Bengals, chose Jamar Chase over Penei Sewell. Gonna do a whole separate video on that. But Joe Alt going to the Tennessee Titans. I gotta be honest, I would love that pick if I'm a Titans fan, for sure. Okay, at 8, Atlanta Falcons, Dallas Turner, outside linebacker from Alabama. Another one of these consensus picks here. Daniel Jeremiah had the Falcons going with J.J. McCarthy in his recent mock draft. But I think Turner just makes so much sense for Atlanta, right? Defensive head coach in Raheem Morris. They don't really have a ton of edge rushing help. Turner would be a huge upgrade at that position. He would fit that system beautifully. And Morris also has a big time track record of developing and working with great pass rushers, at the NFL level. He's been doing it for a long time. I think this really makes a lot of sense. Okay, at spot number 9, the Bears, man, they luck out here. They're going Malik Neighbors, wide receiver from LSU. You're getting your new quarterback, Caleb Williams, a dynamic, explosive weapon on the outside to pair up with DJ Moore. Think about that offense for a second. Like, if you're a Bear fan, you got Caleb Williams, Shane Waldron running the show with 2 dynamic wide receivers. DJ Moore is coming off the best season of his career. I mean, man, how do you not get excited for that? How do you not get pumped up if you're a Bear fan? Like, I am all in on the offensive side of the football for the Bears as it pertains to the draft. I know they need help at edge. I think I would go out and sign somebody. One player that I feel like, I've been saying that makes a lot of sense for the Bears is Jet Bryce Huff, or I guess ex-Jet Bryce Huff. We'll see how it plays out, but I think him in the Eberflus system would make that he could do some damage there. Okay, and last but not least, he has the New York Jets going with tight end from Georgia, Brock Bowers, over Talise Fuaga, over Olu Fashanu here. This is pretty shocking. And, in his little description here, he says, think about it. Aaron Rodgers is returning. They have a void at the position, and they might jump at the opportunity to add a pass-catching tight end with rare run-after-the-catch abilities. There is a natural fit, and yes, New York has a bigger hole at offensive tackle, but what if it doesn't totally love its options here? I always say drafting strictly for need will get teams in trouble, so even with Fashanu on the board, I'm going with Bowers for the Jets. So a bit so kind of my take on that. First off, I don't think we have just a complete void at tight end. I think Ruckert and Conklin are solid, so that's first and foremost. Secondly, he talked about drafting strictly for need. It typically gets teams in trouble, but at spot number 5, he had the Chargers going with J.C. Latham, in his own words, the 22nd ranked player on his big board, and you're selecting him as a top 5 pick because he fills a need. So a bit, I guess, contradictory there, but as far as Bowers to the Jets goes, I would like it if and only if we fix the offensive line in free agency. If the only move the Jets make is signing David Bakhtiari, and we draft Bowers and we don't do anything else on the O-line, yeah, I'm going to have a major issue. I just it doesn't matter how talented, how good these wide receivers are, if the quarterback does not have time to throw, if running backs don't have holes to run, the offense will be stifled. It will. Right? I mean, think about how good, how talented of a receiver Garrett Wilson is, and how there were multiple games where we just couldn't even get the football his way because the offensive line was just that bad. Like, Wilson couldn't even get the football out of his hands. He would hardly have a couple seconds to look his way and throw him the football because he was just being attacked from opposing defenders. And we're constantly in third and long situations. We gotta fix the O-line. We have to fix the offensive line. So let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section on this mock. Really, really excited to kind of dive in and check it out. So thanks so much for watching. I appreciate it. And as always, go Jets.